Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pillars of Success with Dr. White. How are you doing today, Dr. White?
I'm good, thank you.
So today we are going to focus on the idea of service. What it means to give back, what it means to give service to others in all forms. So first and foremost, what does service mean to you, Dr. White?
Service is something bigger than ourselves. I think, especially in life, we have so many different things that take the stage, that grab our attention. Usually these things are inherently kind of selfish. They're very self-centered parts of ourselves. And so I think service or giving, back to others is a chance to kind of step outside of ourselves, to step outside of that little bubble or universe, that we have, and really have a chance to maybe look at another person's situation, help them in their situation or predicament, or help the community in some ways, give back to the community in some ways. And I think if we're all being honest, we've all enjoyed another, whether it be from a friend or even sometimes a perfect stranger, somebody at some point has helped us. Someone has basically, or maybe even a group of individuals have served us and helped us at times. And so I think that, to me, that's what service is. It's something bigger than ourselves, and it's an opportunity to kind of step outside of ourselves.
When it comes to service, is this supposed to be something that doesn't involve any monetary gain, or is service with a monetary gain okay still?
No, I don't think in the true spirit of things, that's something that monetary or remuneration isn't a part of it. I think that it's important for individuals to give their time, to give their resources. And as I said, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves, there's people that have helped us. There's people that have given their time to us. There's people that have helped us maybe financially at some point. Most of us don't get through life just being 100% self-sufficient. People have helped us along the way. And again, I think this is that opportunity, the opportunity to give back, to either individual or the community at large. So I think that no, but money and time should be something that when we're providing service, when we're helping others, something that we give freely.
Would you say that in society we have an issue when it comes to selfishness or a lack of service?
I think that's something that's probably always existed, but I've known so many giving people, and of course I work for an organization where that's what we do. We're a nonprofit that basically is always giving, and we collect donations and we're helping others. But I think there are many individuals out there that love to be able to help others. They love being able to give back to the community. So I wouldn't say that it's a growing. I think that there are of course people that don't. There are people that are probably maybe more selfish for whatever reason. But I've known so many giving people, not just with money but time. They give vast amounts of their time to help those that are less fortunate or those that are in real need. And so I think that, I have a lot of optimism and hope, for the future and for future generations. I think that, humans we're so capable of giving and helping others. So,
would you say that within the natural mindset of how humans think, that service is something that's already kind of instilled in us, or is this something that we have to force ourselves to do?
I think it's something that goes directly back, or it ties directly back to when we were hunter-gatherers. I think when we lived in small tribes, hunter-gatherer type tribes, we had to have a much more egalitarian type mindset. We had to have the ability to really help others. I mean, literally kind of scratch each other's backs because it meant survival. If the group couldn't work well together, and if they weren't willing to serve one another and help one another, they couldn't then of course expect that in return, and so that would be a complete breakdown in the system, and there were serious consequences to that. I mean, your whole tribe might die. So I think that that vestige is still a part of our society today, individually, and then it manifests itself collectively. I think that there's definitely a part of us, and you see it in religions, and even even in the secular realm, people helping other people. I think there is this understanding, and I think the deep understanding, even in modern terms, is that if that ever happens to us, if we ever end up in a tough spot, we'd want someone to help us. So the generosity, the care, the love, the empathy we give to others, we would want that in return. And that's part of basically being part of a sophisticated society, a society that basically takes care of those that need it the most.
What would you say in your experience is the biggest service that someone ever did for you in your life?
Oh, wow. I remember, this was probably 25 years ago. At the time I had been in the mortgage industry. I had a couple of rough months, and I had lots of little kids. I had 4 small children. And there was a year, it was around Christmas time, and we had a difficult time that year. We were barely paying our bills. And I remember there was this family, and I don't know who they are, but they wanted to remain anonymous, and they wanted to give us a Christmas. They themselves didn't have a Christmas that year. They wanted to basically give us a Christmas. The Christmas they would have had, they gave us. And I just remember how much gratitude I had, to those individuals and for the sacrifices. And what I think is amazing is I've had an opportunity since then to do similar types of things and to help and to serve, and it's such an amazing feeling. And I think that family, even though they made that sacrifice that year for my family, they probably felt so much joy and happiness from that. And I think that's one of the probably best kept secrets about service, is that you end up feeling a lot better than the person you help. And I don't know how it works out that way or why it works out that way, but every time I've engaged in helping others, it picks me up and it makes me feel not only just a lot better about myself, but a lot more optimistic and positive about life.
Would you say that there's different kinds of service?
Yes. So I think there are types of service that have to do financial. That are in the financial realm. So there are people out there that they need help, maybe with food or with other types of things. These could be family members, friends, or maybe even perfect strangers. And so I think that as a community, we have to be there to help those individuals. We all sometimes fall on difficult times financially, and so having help when we need it's very, very important. And many times these people that receive this help then go on to help, to pay it forward down the road themselves. But I think there's another type of service that we sometimes overlook. And this is the time that we spend with people that maybe really need our time. There's people out there that are lonely, that are suffering, that don't have anybody to talk to, and having somebody just sit and listen to them, having someone, care about what they have to say. I mean, that's huge. That's an act of service there. You're helping somebody in the community in a way that you really can't put a price tag on. And you're forming, a relationship with this person that they will more than likely remember the rest of their lives. And I've had a couple situations in my own life where I've helped somebody that way, and I've been helped that way too, and it's made a huge impression. So not all service is financial. Many times service is time, and spending time with people that really need us at that moment.
Would you suggest that everybody takes time out of their lives to give back and give service to those around them?
Absolutely. As much as it's possible, as much as you can, given your own personal circumstances, time. I think that if we all made a commitment to help the community, to help others, the world would become even an even better place. But I think, one of the things, as I said earlier, is the kind of the best kept secret is the amount of joy and happiness it gives the giver. And so I think if that's something, if you're having a hard time in your own life, if you're struggling in your own life, go help somebody. I've had an opportunity to do some service at an organization that provides equine therapy for special needs kids. And at the time I did some of this service, I was going through my own kind of personal struggles. And I tell you what, going out there and spending that time out there and helping, it was healing for me. And so I think that's, again, we have to keep in mind that we're helping these other individuals, but many times the biggest amount of help is to ourselves. Being able to help others to step out of our own problems and issues for a minute and sacrifice our time or money or whatever that might be to help somebody else can be healing to us. And sometimes, at least in my own life, I've desperately needed that healing. It's helped me, just unbelievably, and in so many ways. And those experiences still sit with me, and they're very emotional. They've touched me very deeply.
As always, thank you everybody who enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. And as always, thank you for your time, Dr. White. And we are going to go ahead and finish up with one last question, as always. And what I'm going to go ahead and ask you is, if you were talking to somebody in terms of service and they didn't really know how to engage in service, what kind of advice would you give them? It really depends. If a person's like, more of a religious, they're more of a religious orientation, I'd say, talk with your pastor, talk with your religious leader, find maybe small ways that you can help within your parish or your religious community. If you're looking for more of a secular based, if you're more of an individual that just wants to delve into the community, I would basically look for any opportunity within the community. Google it. Look for anything where there's service projects. I remember one time I went and helped go paint a school. A school needed help, getting a new paint, a coat of paint. So, I think there are those types of opportunities out there. You have to search for them. And I think there's more than people realize, and I don't think that people realize how much of an impact they can make within the community when they take on these. So that would be my first suggestion is look, go online or talk to a religious leader, whatever you can do. And again, give what you can. Maybe you don't have the financial means right at this moment, but you can maybe give some of your time, some of your energy. Maybe, it could be something as simple as actually listening to a stranger or a friend and helping them, maybe in a time of need. But I would say that, on the road to success, one of the pillars of success is being able to give back to others, to help others. And it's something that's not only enriching the life and the lives of other individuals, it's enriching the life, your own personal life and your own personal development on your road to success. Thank you for those words, Dr. White, and thank you once again.
Great, thank you.